The US government just lost $9.6 trillion, or according to Donald Trump, something around $20 trillion. When Donald Trump introduced these tariffs, he forced these countries to sign trade deals and pledge to invest trillions of dollars in the United States. In fact, there is an entire page on the White House website, list of countries that pledge to invest under companies. So the UAE has pledged to invest $1.4 trillion in the US, Qatar $1.2 trillion, Japan $1 trillion. And there is a long list of both US companies and foreign companies that's supposed to invest so much money in the US. And in total, this number is $9.6 trillion. But there has been multiple times when Donald Trump said that by the time his presidency is over, those investments could be as high as $20 trillion. Now, the question is, will these companies and these businesses and these countries will commit to these investments even though that they've actually pledged to do that under a threat of tariff? Now, the US consumer market is the world's largest market, and losing access to the US consumer market is probably the worst thing that could happen to any company or any business. If you look at the list of the largest consumer markets, you will see the United States at the top of the list at about $20 trillion. So if the global world consumer market worth $60 trillion, then about a third of that is the United States. Now, the second largest consumer market is the EU market that is not even $10 trillion. Then goes China, India, and the rest of the world. So when you have access to the US market, and unlike the European Union, which is the second largest market, the United States is one single country with laws across the entire country. While the European Union consists of nations that are more than 20, and every single time they have like different laws for different countries, which makes the entire situation even more complicated. When you dominate the world's largest consumer market, that gives you the kind of cash flow that allows you to be so profitable that you can start conquering other markets and operate at a loss. When Amazon enters into a new market, they can operate at a loss in that country for decades because their business in the United States keep bringing them enough cash flow that allow them to operate at a loss in different countries. And by the time those businesses in that new market go bankrupt, then Amazon will instantly raise prices and monopolize that market. And that's how Amazon actually conquered the entire world. So Trump have used the US consumer market as a leverage against these countries and against even the US companies to force them to pledge to invest so much in the United States. But take an example of Japan. Japan pledged like $550 billion in a trade deal signed with Trump and another like $400 billion in different negotiations. That was because Japan did not want to lose access to the US consumer market. When Donald Trump announced the tariffs on Japan, it was about 30%. But because Japan has pledged to invest $550 billion in the US, Trump has actually reduced those tariffs from 30% to 15%. But now the question is, do you think Japan will invest so much money in the US? Because these tariffs are unlawful and Trump won't be able to implement them on Japan. And that's just one example. But countries such as the UAE that pledged to invest $1.4 trillion did that not under the threat of tariffs. But this was that the vast majority of these investments most likely are not happening. India is supposed to invest like $500 billion in the US in an exchange that India will get a much lower tariff rate. But guess what India told the United States right after the Supreme Court canceled Trump's tariffs? India delays Washington's trade visit as US tariff policy shifts. So India is like, listen guys, you no longer can enforce these tariffs on us, so you're not going to have any trade agreement with us, and you're not going to pay you that much money. So that $500 billion was simply a statement for us to buy some time until the Supreme Court decides on these tariffs. The same thing applies to the European Union, where they suggested that they will be investing $600 billion in the United States. Now, when Trump announced that, I made a video telling you that this is just a pledge. There is not a specific framework where we can actually track and who exactly is going to invest that much money? The European Union is one joint institution that consists of multiple countries, and you can't simply force these countries to invest. Who is going to invest that much money? Is it going to be Germany, France, Hungary, Spain? Who knows? These countries are already struggling financially themselves, and the only investment they would make is only when it's in the interest of these nations. And now, because Trump has also violated this trade agreement that he has signed with the European Union by raising the global tariff to 15%, I don't think any of these countries are going to honor their agreements when the United States was the first to violate these agreements to begin with. Don't forget that this is literally from the White House website. Apple announced a $600 billion investment in the United States. Now, Apple is not going to bring factories back in the United States or back to the United States. They won't be building iPhones back in the United States because they have already spent hundreds of billions of dollars to build the infrastructure in China, and now they're basically utilizing this infrastructure to maximize their profits. And who knows how many more years people are going to use iPhones. Maybe in 5 or 7 years from now, people won't be using iPhones and there is going to be a completely new technology, such as when people moved from Blackberries to iPhones. So moving that manufacturing back to the United States to build entire plants that will manufacture iPhones is the most unreasonable decision that you can possibly make. But under the threat of tariffs, Apple had to announce a $600 billion investment in the United States to bring that much manufacturing. But now they don't have to be afraid of that. Now, the same thing applies to literally every other company that you see on this list, whether it's a US company such as Nvidia or IBM or Amazon, or it could be a foreign company such as a South Korean company. Or take an example of a company such as Toyota that did not want to pay these tariffs because Toyota makes a lot of money selling in the United States cars. But most of these cars, some of them are being manufactured in the US, but a big chunk of these cars are either manufactured outside the United States in places such as Mexico. So to avoid that 15 or 20% tariff, they could actually move that manufacturing back to the United States. But guess what? Most likely, none of these investments are happening. So you can essentially say that the United States literally lost a $9.6 trillion investment that's supposed to be happening, but it is not going to happen. But here's the good news. Some of these investments are going to happen whether you like it or not, because there is an AI revolution is happening and you need tons of data centers to back these AI computers. You have to build the computer chips. You need the huge data centers. And these companies have already announced that they have to build them here in the United States. So hundreds of billions of dollars, for example, from Amazon is happening whether you like it or not. Or Alphabet, supposed to invest about $175 billion just in 2026 alone. Microsoft, $155 billion. Now, these investments would have happened in the United States whether the president was Donald Trump, Joe Biden, you name it, it doesn't matter. Each of these big tech companies want to be the first who is going to utilize AI and is going to dominate AI. And the only way you can do that is to be one of the first who is going to invest and is going to build the data centers. So these investments would have happened in the United States whether you like it or not, whether the president is Donald Trump or someone else. But how about foreign investments in the US? Foreign countries and companies invest trillions of dollars in the US. It might not be directly by building manufacturing plants in the United States, but they invest by buying US treasuries. So about $10 trillion of US treasuries right now are being held by foreign companies and foreign countries. And if you look at the US stock market, it's worth about $60 trillion. And a third of that, about $20 trillion, is owned by foreign companies. And that is not going to stop because the US stock market is one of the best places that you can possibly invest your money. Historically, it averaged about 10% if you just take the S&P 500. So if you want to invest, there are no options in the European Union because maximum that you can get from the European companies or the European stock market is about 5 to 6%. The same thing applies to the UK. And if you look at the world's largest and most successful companies such as Nvidia, Apple, Amazon, all of them are in the US, and over the last 20 or 30 years, they have grown by thousands of percentages. So the question comes back at the end of the day to anybody that is investing. Are you going to invest in the European Union where you don't have a single tech company that dominates the world, or you're going to invest in the world's most profitable stock market ever? And that's why investments will keep coming back to the United States, but they're not going to be in the form that Donald Trump has actually agreed, where, for example, Japan will invest $550 billion in the US, and the vast majority of these profits will go to the US government. Now, Japan will invest in the US, but only when it's profitable for Japan. And that's a great strategy, because if it's profitable for Japan, then Japan is incentivized to make these investments. So if foreign countries are investing so much in the US and making trillions of dollars, the question is to you: why are you not investing in the US stock market? Why are you not making so much money? Well, I get it. Maybe it's complicated, maybe you don't know where to start, or maybe you started but you want to grow your skills and become a more confident investor. Well, if that's you, then check out the first link in the description of this video. That is the best place for you to start investing.